Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, carriers of COVID-19. Okay, so we need to finish up this lecture. Where the heck am I at? Present. Okay. We're going to talk legal considerations. All right. And this is the last part of chapter 26. There will be a test for chapter 26, which will be Thursday night. I'm kind of thinking we'll do it after our last group session at 5 o'clock. So it'll be somewhere around 6 o'clock. Um, and once we've got that taken care of, you guys will submit those answers to me, and I'll grade them and get that back to you as quickly as I can. We're still evolving here and trying to figure this all out. So if you see something that needs to change that you're not sure really works right, please let me know. Let's go ahead and move things around. But let's get into this. Legal considerations in behavioral emergencies. We need to be aware of consent and how consent works. And we had some discussion this week about this. Patients who are unresponsive or not compliant to consent may be treated under the implied consent. These are the types of patients we need to look to use that implied consent, because if they're intoxicated, if they're altered, if they are mentally disturbed at the moment, and they're a danger to themselves or others, then we have to take responsibility for them. That gives us that implied consent. In some cases, they may be able to answer all four of those orientation questions correctly, which gives most people the right to say, "I'm okay, and I don't need to. Go with you." But being impaired or a threat makes them implied, and we have to take care of them. They are our responsibility. Refusal to consent. Competent patients can refuse care. Patients that are or to times 4 that are capable of caring for themselves. If a patient threatens to harm himself or others, you may be able to transport without consent. Again, back what I was just talking about, right? Document the situation. Use direct quotes. Involve law enforcement. This is probably one of the best things we can do in this case, because again, they're the heavy. They're the ones who can tell these people legally by law what they can and can't do, and they have the right. Law enforcement has the right to take it a step further if necessary. And I have had people handcuffed to my gurney against their better wishes, because it was what was right for them. Reasonable force, the minimum amount of force required to keep the patient from injuring himself or others. This is you not causing physical harm, but simply giving that patient a little extra force to hold them, subdue them, allowing us to do what we need to do next, which may be restraints. The amount of force depends on the situation, obviously. It involves law enforcement and follow local protocol when we do this stuff. And law enforcement, again, is our benefit here, because they can help us with this. And in some cases, they may take care of it for us without us having to really get too physical. False accusations. Document carefully and completely. These are the patients that will cause these situations to happen. They will accuse you of all kinds of things. So documentation is priority number one in these cases when we're starting to have issues. Document the patient's behavior and statements. You want to list out those statements specifically in their words. Quote them if you can. Have witnesses if possible. This is your partner. These are paramedics, firefighters around with you in the hospital. You got hospital staff who hopefully is listening in and paying attention as well. Use providers that are the same gender as the patient. This is not easy. This is hard. When we are out doing runs, we get a 911 for a behavioral emergency. We respond on scene, and we have a female who's acting out, but we have 2 males on the ambulance. We should be thinking it's a good idea to contact dispatch and have them respond out a female attendant who could handle the situation, and vice versa. Got to think about it. If it's a male and a female in the back, I may not want the female to be back there. We may switch out. She drives and I'm in the back, or we call out, if this is 2 females on an ambulance, we call out a crew that has a male who can respond and take care of the situation. We don't use it very often, but it is something we definitely need to think about. And if you request it, your dispatch should honor that request. And hey, check it out. We're done. There you go. Okay, so real quick and simple. Are we done? Sorry, things are slow. Yeah, we're done. Chromebook does not work as well as I'd hoped. Okay, so like I said, this was very short, simple, take care of the legality portion of all this stuff. This week has been unusual. Last week was unusual, but I think we're starting to get ourselves in the right direction. Please be watching out. Monday, I'm going to try my best to put out another quick video of the next chapter, which is 27, followed up with some work that you guys will be doing on documents or projects and doing some slideshows and stuff like that. Please pay attention to those videos coming out. Worksheets will come out fairly quickly next week. We will meet on Tuesday for the first two groups and Thursday for the next two groups. Thursday, we will have our Chapter 26 test. And that will probably come at the conclusion of those last two sessions I have before. And you guys will be responsible for turning that test in. I'll put a time frame, but it'll probably be like 9 o'clock that night. Again, the test is different. That's going to be due on a specific time, and I'll make sure you know that. But reality is everything else that comes in that week is not due until Friday night. I am still trying to take care of the Google Classroom. I'm going to go ahead and send what I have and get it started, and the rest who need to jump in will jump in when it's time. And if you didn't get a chance yet, go to the ROP Google Excel file, Google Classroom Excel file. Make sure you have your name in there and your school email so I can get all that stuff in. I've got a grip of people there already, and I'm going to send what I do have in so we can get that started. Okay? Thank you very much. Thanks for hard work this week, and we will get back to this as soon as we can. Okay? Thank you very much, guys. Have a good evening.